This is the Aviere, a Tier 5 Italian tech tree destroyer. It's one of the destroyers that was available in early access during the Yacht into the Seas campaign. And all the Italian destroyers have very poor concealment, but their torpedoes seem okay. And their guns are actually pretty good. Most of my kills so far in the Italian destroyers here in early access have been with the guns, actually. So with that, let's get into the setup of the ship and the commander, who is Carlo Bergamini. And yeah, I got him early as a community contributor. The other option here is Giuseppe Fulgosi, and I've got him set up with a double concealment, and it doesn't really help out all that much. Concealment is so bad. Yeah, I just wanted to go with the new guy. His base trait is Per Lenore Italia, which improves the incoming damage from shells, torpedoes, and bombs to your destroyer per 1% of HP, which is lost. Inspirations, I didn't go with a double concealment here because the concealment is already so poor. I didn't really think that would help out, but what may help out is I disappear here with Louis Villette, which improves the destroyer detectability time after firing the main guns. I have them ranked up pretty high, and that is a 21.25% improvement in the time that you're visible after firing the main gun. So you'll go dark about 22%, 21% quicker than you otherwise would. So I'm hoping that pays dividends here with this setup, because with all the Italians that I'm using this commander with, because the concealment in all the Italian destroyers is so poor. Here I did go with Deng Shisheng, which helps out the destroyer's detectability and torpedo damage with Quantum of Solace. And here I try to go with a torpedo-centric setup. Subsurface Venture is the first skill, which improves the torpedo speed and the launcher reload time, but it does take a hit with the destroyer main battery reload time. Second skill is Look at Me Now, which improves the sea detectability range. And here I went with Perceptive, which improves the incoming damage to your destroyer and the torpedo detectability range, as well as, and probably most importantly, shows the direction of the closest enemy ship. And this is really important because your only defense with a poor concealment is knowing where your closest enemy is. Fourth skill is the unique skill, which is Talented, which improves the torpedo damage per 1% HP lost and improves the destroyer torpedo damage while you're inside a smokescreen. And for legendary skill, I have Unstoppable, which improves the engine repair time and allows for a reduced mobility with a disabled engine and or rudder. Special effect is a damage control party cooldown time, which activates when you're within 4.5 kilometers of an enemy ship, and that's a legendary rank 2. It will go all the way up to 7.5 kilometers if you go to legendary rank 4. So let's check out the upgrades for the Aviere. First one is Main Battery Mod 2, which helps out the main battery traverse speed. And that was another thing, is the traverse speed on all the Italian destroyers are so poor that improved accuracy wouldn't help if you can't get your guns on target. So they all pretty much have Main Battery Mod 2 for the first upgrade here. Then I went with Propulsion Mod. Time taken to reach full power is cut in half. And then we have all the default upgrades here. First one is Targeting System, which increases the firing range 10% out to 10.3 kilometers. And then we have the hull upgrade here, which maxes out the hit points at 14,300 and reduces the rudder shift time down to 3.6 seconds. And then we have the torpedo default upgrade here. Maximum damage is 10,270 and the range goes up to 10 kilometers. And that is one of the better features of the ship, as it turns out. Loadouts, high explosive shells, semi-armor piercing shells here. This is kind of unique. It's your only option, and torpedoes as well. Only option here being you don't have regular armor piercing shells. So, And then here for consumables, you have the damage control party. Duration is 5 seconds, reloads every 40 seconds, and there is an unlimited number of those consumables. Then you have the exhaust smoke generator consumable, and this is a rolling smoke. Duration is not that long at 25 seconds. Dispersion time is 10 seconds. Reloads every 120 seconds, and you have 3 of those consumables. So got to watch it with the smoke generator because the smoke disperses a lot quicker than probably what you're used to. Then you have the engine boost consumable. Maximum speed while the consumable is running has an increase of 25%. Duration is 25 seconds, which is very short. Reload time is 120 seconds, and there are 4 of those consumables. Don't have any boosters running, but that could change depending on the match. And the ship does not come with any camo, so I set up a disposable camo here. It's a community contributor camo, but bottom line, the important part is sea detectability range and incoming fire dispersion is 4.5% respectively, with any grade 4 throwaway camo basically. And the one thing I did do is I was sort of saving up my Regia Marina camo here. This is only grade 1, and with grade 1 set up, the concealment specs on the ship is identical to not having any camo installed at all, and you just get a break of like half a kilometer by having a fully upgraded camo. And we'll be checking that here in a little bit. Survivability hit points is 14,300. Armor is 6 to 16 millimeter. And then for the artillery, you have 5 guns. Range is 10.3 kilometers. Reload every 7.5 seconds. Traverse time is 10.7 seconds, which is okay. HE shell damage is 1,700 with a 7% chance of setting fire. And then the summary armor piercing shells have a maximum of 2,600. Torpedoes, you have 2 launchers of 3 torpedoes each. Reloads every 70.4 seconds, and you do reload your torpedoes pretty darn quick here. Maximum damage is 10,270. Detectability of those torpedoes is 1.1 kilometers, and it does seem like the red ships do have kind of a hard time detecting these torpedoes in time. Range is 10 kilometers, which is awesome. Speed is a little slow at 60 knots. AA defenses do not count on the Aviere for clearing the sky duties. Maneuverability, maximum speed is 38 knots. Turning circle radius is 570 meters. Rudder shift time is 3.6 seconds. Concealment, detectability range by sea is 6.2 kilometers. And I did check out a double concealment setup, and that number was 5.9 kilometers. So you only gain 0.3 kilometers by going with a double concealment setup, and I would rather have my visibility lessened after firing the main guns as we saw in the commander setup. So detectability range by air is 3.3 kilometers. Detectability while firing in the smoke is 2.4 kilometers. Armor, whatever you do, do not get hit. Overview, exhaust smoke generator can dispense a smoke screen and stay hidden at full speed. And yeah, the rolling smoke is kind of cool until the smoke dissipates. Then you got to deal with that. Semi-armor piercing shells, equipped or can be equipped with SAP shells that deal consistent damage, ricochet less, but cannot start fires. Below average concealment, the ship is visible to enemies from a greater distance and is definitely exposed. And compared to other destroyers in the game, in my port anyway, the entire Italian destroyer line seems to have the worst concealment out of any ships that I have. So then the Aviere is a ship that belonged to the Soldati class, one of the most successful destroyer classes in the Regia Marina. Owing to their increased size, the ships of the series could carry 5 main battery guns. Entered service in 1937, and there were 19 ships in the series. All right, well, that's it for the setup of the ship and the commander. Let's go out in a standard battle and check out some highlights. All right, well, we are in New Dawn here. And yeah, Gonna go with Bergamini with a torpedo setup. He was released, as the final reward from that calendar that's ongoing, the Suffragette calendar, so Squadron Suffragette. So I thought it would be a good idea to just see what Bergamini would do on these destroyers. The more I'm using them, though, and the more I'm finding out, I really do think that Rizzo is probably really the guy. And when this was recorded, Rizzo was ranked at rank 7. He wasn't ranked up very high at all, so I didn't really want to give him a try here. We've got 4 destroyers per side, a cruiser on the red team, and the rest are battleships. So we're just going to do the best we can with this really poor concealment. But in any event, I have ranked Rizzo up to rank 14 now as of the day of the recording here. And I'll be looking to get some highlights with Rizzo and a true gunboat setup here. But for now, we're just going to see if we can make do with the Aviere as a torpedo boat and, just see how it goes. I did mention previously that it seemed like most of my destroyed ships were with the guns, not the torpedoes, so there is that. So maybe fate was leaning in that direction anyway, but yeah, we've got semi-armor piercing selected, and this should just completely chew up these destroyers here. There is 2,500, and that was a miss. So yeah, you gotta get a little bit better at aiming, it seems like. And all right, we launched the torpedoes. Sims is just staying there. He backed up and put on the brakes real quick and then backed up. But the guns reload, not super fast, but quick enough to really get in there. There's 4 more hits and there's 3,000 more damage. So when your destroyer has only like 12, 13, 14,000 hit points, 3,000 damage is kind of big time for every salvo. So it doesn't take very long to wipe out those opposing destroyers, and it sure happens to me more times than not when I'm in a destroyer and I get caught with a red destroyer coming against me and he's got a true gunboat build. Don't last very long. It's pretty obvious to check out which of those guys have a gunboat set up. But here I'm taking some shots at the Nagato since I'm spotted anyway. And we are hitting him for a little bit of damage, which I am kind of surprised at. There's over 3,000 damage from that salvo. And there's a couple ricochets, but we did get one hit there. And yeah, so 10-kilometer range, and he's out of range. But the plus side here is the torpedoes really are better than not. And here, yeah, some of these guys can really blind fire you pretty good. I've been noticing that lately. So here, this guy should be gone, I'm expecting, on the salvo, and no. So we got to go for it one more time and put ourselves at risk because there's those battleships out there. And there, that guy is gone with the guns. We're whittling him away, so... yeah, okay, Mackensen is a battlecruiser. You can see that... I aimed a little bit behind, and because of the tone, the color there, I'm having a hard time telling if the battleship is in front of the island, but I think it is. Yeah, he is. So looked like he was pretty speedy, and I completely missed him. But yeah, so this is a capture the base match. So yeah, not much capturing the base here. And here I'm all the way on the border. These guys are chasing me out here. And there, okay, so the smoke is saving me right here, but it doesn't really last very long. So lasts long enough to get out of here, but that is about it. And we're going to come back around and start getting back into the game to go more toward the opposing base. So here I'm playing a very cautious game, trying to aim my torpedoes when he's reloading and can't get me with the main guns. Those are all secondaries that are going, and yeah, it looks like these are going to be a couple of torpedo hits right here, which kind of surprised at. I would have thought that he would have swerved out of the way, but it's good for me. Yep, those are looking awesome, actually. And yeah, a bunch of big time hits right there. And only one flood, so this is unfortunate. I doubt that I could take him out the rest of the way with the guns, but we're going to keep trying. All right, my teammate got him. And it's just as well. He's out of the picture, and we are going to close back into the middle of the map and get into the game more than drifting out toward the edge. But that's kind of what happens is if you go up against the battleships, you're going to have a quick death. So in that case, I feel I had no choice but to run out toward the edge, and I got caught up by the border there. Otherwise, I'd probably still be going all the way down to the South Pole, maybe. I don't know. But here is an Asasho. He gets taken out. And so now I've got to back up. I was trying to go behind the island for cover. Probably didn't need to do that, but that's basically what I did. All right, Leander, Nagato, and a Heinrich. All right, we have one rolling smoke left. And the match is getting pretty even right here. So this is kind of touch and go. Yeah, I don't know how many people are going to want to go the torpedo route like I did here, but it can work, you know, just like anything else in the game. It can work. 50 main gun hits, 4 torpedo hits, so even though I've built for a torpedo boat, I'm still using the main guns, and I guess it's really showing me that is the way that you need to go here, is the main guns. Yeah, and as I'm capturing the base here, you can look at how far away the red team ships are. So I think that they are too far away to really come and help. Yeah, they're on the other side of the island. They are so far out that if nothing is done, we're going to capture the base and win the match just on that. So nothing wrong with that. Could use the XP. And as far as the commanders go, I really think that Bergamini is a better option for a torpedo commander than Fugosi. Rizzo is obviously the gunboat guy, so Fugosi, he may be Captain Dunsel. And mention that in Star Trek. Any Star Trek fans out there will know what I mean by Captain Dunsel. Minute and a half. Throw the torpedoes out there anyway, so it is just the Nagato left. And he is closing in, isn't he? So he's 7.5 kilometers away. Got to think about moving away, actually. Well, I've got the rolling smoke, so I don't really have to worry about that. Torpedoes will be reloaded in 45 seconds. Yeah, so now he sees the torpedoes probably, and he's turning to avoid them. Gonna get one more hit, though, and a flood, so that is awesome. 60,000 damage and counting, so that is awesome. So, yeah, we let the smoke screen go, and we're just gonna start nailing this guy. You see, we have 45 seconds left. It's going to be kind of touch and go. 66,000 damage. We're whittling him away, so our smoke screen is gone. So I'm covering my bases there with the torpedoes, figuring that he will not get me with the main guns. So that probably means he's going to get me with the main guns. But it looks like my teammate is going to blow him out right there. Right, well, there you go. That's a big-time victory for the Aviere. 191,000 credits, 68,000 battle performance, total damage on 63 main gun hits, 5 torpedo hits, a destroyed ship, caused flooding. So it looks like the Italian torpedoes can cause floodings more often than not, it looks like. So, all right, let's see how we did on the team result. And whoa, first place overall, 1900 XP on first place overall. So, you know, first place is what I'm going to say there. All right, well, let's see how we did on the economy tab. And by the time it was all said and done, we cleared 155,000 silver credits. All right, well, there you go. That is the sea trials for the Tier 5 Italian tech tree destroyer Aviere. Overall, I do like the boat. It's kind of a challenge to play a boat like this with the very poor concealment. It's 6.5 kilometers, but ultimately it's fun, and that is the important thing. So if nothing else, you get to see a little bit about the ship. Let me know what you think down below. And yeah, I know about Rizzo and the gunboat deal. This is the Jaguar, and I'll see you on the high seas. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe if you like it.
Corazzata nemica distrutta. Abbiamo distrutto un incrociatore nemico.
Squadra in vantaggio.
Corazzata nemica individuata. Caccia torpediniere nemico affondato.